Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're investigating a hidden daily cause of chronic exhaustion. And I'm not just talking about, being tired after a long day at work. I'm talking about a fundamental physiological power outage happening right inside the human body. Today, we're going to break down exactly why your internal battery might be failing, and more importantly, how to actually fix it.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up from a full night's sleep, but you still feel completely drained? You haven't done any heavy physical labor, but you literally feel like you're running on empty. Well, if you suffer from this kind of mysterious lack of energy, you might not just need more sleep. You might actually be experiencing a very real power grid failure inside yourselves.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start at the power station, identify the early warning signs of a brownout, uncover the saboteurs, map out the system breakdown, look at a total blackout, and finally, reboot the grid.
Section 1. The Power Station, Understanding Vitamin B1.
To really grasp what's happening to your energy levels, you have to imagine your body as this massive electrical grid. And right at the heart of that grid is a biological generator called thiamine. You probably know it better as vitamin B1. Think of the food you eat, the bread, the rice, the sweets, as coal. Now, that coal is basically useless on its own, right? Vitamin B1 is the crucial spark. It's the generator that literally burns that coal to produce the electrical energy required for your muscles to move, your heart to beat, and your brain to function. But here's the kicker. Vitamin B1 is water soluble. That means your body cannot store it. You literally have no backup battery. If you don't replenish this specific vitamin every single day through your diet, your power grid immediately starts dropping its voltage.
Section 2. Early warning signs, the brownout phase.
Let's look at what happens when your voltage actually starts to drop. Often, the most mundane issues are your first red flags. When your body lacks B1, the areas that demand the highest amount of energy, like your brain, your nervous system, and your stomach, are the very first to lose power. You'll get this constant fatigue, feeling sluggish all day without having done any real heavy lifting. And because your brain is basically starving for energy, you might experience sudden irritability. Finding yourself arguing over trivial things or dealing with internal anxiety. Your memory and focus start to slip, and your stomach, it needs massive energy to process food, so it just goes on strike. This leads to a loss of appetite, nausea, and even constipation. Section 3. The saboteurs. Who is cutting the power lines? So if we absolutely need this vitamin every day, why are so many of us running low? Well, it really comes down to the irony of our modern diets. People who constantly eat white products, white bread, refined flour, white rice, sugar, pastries, they're actively sabotaging themselves. When these foods enter your body, your organism actually has to spend its existing B1 reserves just to break them down. But these refined foods contain absolutely zero B1 to replace it. It's a total drain. Then we have alcohol, which is the ultimate saboteur. It completely blocks the absorption of B1 from your intestines into your blood. Gastrointestinal diseases like chronic diarrhea or gastritis mean vitamins just pass right through you. And finally, severe stress and heavy physical labor cause your body to burn through B1 at 2 to 3 times the normal rate.
Section 4. System breakdown, when the power runs out.
But what happens if you just ignore those early warning signs? Well, your major bodily systems go fully offline. Let's start with System 1, the nervous system. Your nervous system is the absolute biggest consumer of vitamin B1. Without it, the protective sheaths around your nerves actually begin to degrade. Your internal electrical wires literally begin to fray and short-circuit. The progression here is honestly terrifying. It starts with physical numbness. Patients report feeling like ants are crawling on their fingers and toes, or they get this sharp needle-like pain. Then the biggest muscles, like the calves, suffer intense pain and fatigue. It gets so bad that the power simply leaves the legs entirely, resulting in a condition called drop foot, where the toes just hang down and the person has to drag their feet to walk. If a doctor taps their knee with a hammer, there's zero reflex. But the most shocking symptom is neurological. As memory loss becomes severe, the brain basically panics. To fill in the blank spots, the patient will actually engage in confabulation, making up completely fictional stories and believing them to be absolute truth, just to cover up the power outage in their memory centers. Next up, we have Systems 2 and 3, the heart and metabolism. When there's a lack of voltage, your blood vessels dilate excessively. And to compensate for that, your cardiovascular and digestive systems go into a state of sheer panic. Because the blood vessels are so wide open, the heart is forced to work 2 to 3 times harder just to pump blood through the body. This causes tachycardia. Your heart is wildly racing even when you're just sitting perfectly still. Patients experience severe breathlessness from minor movements. In heavy cases, they can't even lie flat at night to breathe. Because circulation is failing, fluid backs up, causing massive swelling, starting right at the ankles and moving up the body. And metabolically, because food isn't being converted to energy, harmful lactic acid builds up in the blood. This lactic acidosis causes a deep, widespread aching pain in all the muscles. The body's temperature drops, and the hands and feet turn freezing cold.
Section 5. Total blackout. Severe clinical diseases.
If this depletion remains completely unchecked, the medical community recognizes two absolute end-stage clinical diseases. The first is called beriberi, and it manifests in two distinct ways depending on which system collapses first. Dry beriberi is a total nervous system collapse. This results in severe muscle wasting and paralysis of the limbs. Wet beriberi, on the other hand, is a cardiovascular collapse, resulting in a dangerously enlarged heart and extreme total body swelling. The second end-stage disease is Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. This is a truly terrifying condition, seen mostly in chronic alcohol users whose brains have been completely starved of power. The energy deficit is so absolute that it causes severe brain damage. Patients suffer from paralysis of the eye muscles, intense hallucinations, and those deeply ingrained false memories we talked about earlier. Section 6. Rebooting the Grid, Dietary Solutions. I know that all sounds incredibly bleak, but hey, here's the good news. Restoring your body's power station is entirely possible. Unless you're in those severe clinical phases that actually require medical injections, the solution is sitting right in your grocery store. You just need to provide your generator with the right fuel. Legumes like beans, peas, and lentils are incredibly rich in B1. Unrefined grains like oats, buckwheat, and brown rice, excellent sources. For the meat eaters out there, beef, liver, and kidneys are absolutely packed with it. And a simple, massive upgrade you can make today is just switching out that B1-stealing white bread for nutrient-dense bran bread. But wait, there is a very crucial rule you have to follow. Heat destroys vitamin B1. It breaks down super quickly at high temperatures. If you overboil your food, or if you're someone who constantly reheats the same meal over and over again in the microwave, you are literally killing the very vitamin your body is screaming for. And I saved the absolute best fact for last. 100. That's the magic number. If you're wondering what the ultimate, most efficient source of vitamin B1 is, it's sunflower seeds. Yep, just 100 grams of ordinary sunflower seeds covers exactly 100% of a human being's daily requirement for vitamin B1. It is literally that simple to reboot your system. So, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. Look at your own life. Look at your daily habits. Are you relying way too much on white carbs and sugar? Are you constantly feeling that mundane, unexplainable exhaustion? Ask yourself, is your body's power station running on empty? The fix is totally in your hands. Or rather, it's on your plate. Rethink your diet, feed your power station. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Stay energized and keep learning.